The maker of OxyContin, Purdue Pharmaceuticals, has pleaded guilty to 3 federal criminal charges for its role in fueling the opioid crisis in the United States of America. The pharmaceutical giant has agreed to pay more than $8 billion and will also be closing down operations. Criminal charges are for Purdue's production and sales of the prescription opioid OxyContin, a drug which, according to U.S. Justice Department, stoked a nationwide addiction crisis. In a separate legal agreement, the Sackler family, which built Purdue to a pharmaceutical giant on the back of lucrative sales of OxyContin, has agreed to pay $225 million to resolve civil liability charges. Purdue pleaded guilty to 1 count of fraud and 2 counts of violating kickback laws over its marketing and sales of OxyContin, which involved encouraging distributors and doctors to aggressively push the highly addictive drug to the consumers.
The global settlement announced today involves the company pleading guilty to 3 felony counts for defrauding the United States and violating the anti-kickback statute from 2009 to 2017. In addition to the company having agreed to plead guilty to these 3 felony counts, the company has agreed to a $3.544 billion criminal fine and a $2 billion criminal forfeiture amount. Further, on top of those, to resolve its civil liability, Purdue Pharma has agreed to $2.8 billion in damages to the United States.
Opioids are a class of drugs naturally found in the opium poppy plant, and they mostly help in relieving pain. Opioids can be prescription medications often referred to as painkillers, or they can be so-called street drugs such as heroin. Many prescription opioids are used to treat moderate to severe pain, but the side effects can include slowing of breathing, constipation, nausea, and even death. Opioids are sometimes referred to as narcotics. Although they do relieve pain, they do not fall into the same category as over-the-counter painkillers such as aspirin and Tylenol. In some cases, longer-term use can lead to addiction, or what doctors will call opioid use disorder. In addition, opioids can restrict your ability to breathe when taken at a higher dose, and when misused can lead to a fatal overdose. The U.S. is currently dealing with a drug addiction and overdose crisis. Drug addiction continues its grim march across the United States of America, having contributed to the deaths of more than 470,000 Americans over the past 2 decades.
This isn't going to completely eradicate OxyContin from the world, but rather make sure that it's available for the people who benefit from it, and that's going to be more tightly monitored and regulated.
Although Joe Biden's campaign has a policy paper on addiction, the issue has barely registered in this year's presidential campaign. Now Americans are waiting to see who takes charge of the White House and tackles the ongoing drug crisis in America.